Right. Good morning to our distinguished guests, colleagues, panelists, facilitators, and our dear students, both online and in the physical venue. A very good morning to you all. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Digital Innovation and Sustainability Workshop. So this program brings together thought leaders and practitioners to explore how digital transformation can support a sustainable academic future. We gather here not only to discuss innovation, but to examine how digital tools, teaching strategy, and research practices can be aligned with long-term sustainability goals. So we have an engaging program which is lined up. I believe we all have access to the program. So the lineup includes a keynote address. We are going to have a panel discussion as well as a hands-on practical session. So without further delay, I would like to welcome our opening speaker, Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, to deliver the welcome remark and provide an overview of today's workshop's objective. Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, the floor is yours. Yes.
Yes, around the years of 2000, those who liked selling us fears were telling us that the world was going to come to an end. And those who were selling us hope and ideology were even much more energized to sell us a better world. Now, those who were selling us hope actually started telling us that from the year 2000, there will be two citizens in the world. One of these were a scholar, an American scholar by the name Mark Prensky, who is well known for coining the concept of digital immigrants and the digital natives. So past the year 2000, there are only two citizens in the world, digital immigrants and the digital natives. Now, who are you? A digital immigrant or a digital natives? Now it's for us to ponder. Now, for those of us who may not be familiar with these semantics, digital natives belongs to a generation that was born in an era of advanced technologies. Smartphones, tablets, iPads, computer, internet, Wi-Fi. Digital immigrants are like myself, those of us who were born in those stone age. We are coming here, I'm carrying a notebook and a pen. Whereas a digital native will come here and will ask, what is the Wi-Fi password? You see. Now, going past that, we need to harmonize these two citizens. Should we harmonize them to become digital immigrants, those who have migrated from a stone era into a digital era, or we need to harmonize them such that we make the digital immigrants to become digital natives? It's for us again to think. But I would suggest that those of us who are digital immigrants must be made to become digital natives, because that is the narrative currently. The environment requires that we become digital literate. So we speak a digital language. We are set up for technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I am 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, and I am part of a research team called TeProD. Now, TeProD is a research project that is funded by the European Union, for which we are very much grateful. We are very much grateful to the European Union for availing funds to our research project, TeProD. TeProD is a research project that is grounded on capacity building. Capacity building to equip academics, lecturers, and the students with two main sets of competencies. What are these competencies? Digital competencies and green competencies. When we are talking of digital competencies, we mean capacitating our lecturers and our students on how best to use technologies and the digital tools in their teaching and learning. That is about digital competencies. We are in that trajectory. Whereas on the green competencies, this project aims at ensuring that we are using sustainable approaches in order for us to conserve our communities, to conserve our societies for the generation today and for the generation tomorrow. That is mainly the aims of this project, TeProD, that is funded by the European Union. So that TeProD is just an acronym for TE is for teachers, PRO, professional, D, development. In other words, it is a pursuit for continuous professional development of teachers, of lecturers and students in terms of digital literacy and the green competence literacies. That is the main reasons. And like I said, we are very much grateful that we are being funded by the European Union and we remain indebted to them. Now, this TeProD is a consortium of universities from both Africa and other parts of the world. In Namibia, the member is the International University of Management. And 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐥, I am the principal investigator. And in addition to myself, I've been surrounded by a team of research experts. And for they must get their credit also, so we really get to know who are the people who are driving this monster called TeProD. Next to me is our co-principal investigator, Dr. Helen Amfeno. Doctor, please make the audience. Yes. Then we have also our research expert, Dr. Thomas Shivolo. Please, doctor, wave to the audience. Then we have Dr. Dewinyema Alpha. Please, doctor, wave to the audience. Then we have Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥. Please, doctor, wave to the audience. And then we have, must I say, Dr. Olomisi? I hope the comments have been addressed here. Okay. Then we have, in blanket invented this, so that I'm not taken to prison, Dr. Shepo Timotheus. Yes. So these are the 5 members of the IUM TeProD team who are ensuring that the TeProD is alive and well. And a part of the modus operandi, how we operate, is that we, from time to time, conduct a series of capacity building workshops, one of which is this one for today. And during these workshops, we invite industry experts, people of note who are well cultivated and celebrated in the discipline of technology, green economies, and sustainability. Therefore, I'm really promising you very enriching conversations, because we have brought in not only people who have published extensively in these areas, but who have also made a significant impact not only in Namibia, in Africa, but is also in other parts of the world. So you are really up for a very good and enriching conversation. But also just to indicate that beyond Africa, beyond Namibia, TeProD is also having partners in Ghana. We are having the University of Ghana. I hope they are representing us online. They have joined online possibly. And then we have the University of Education Winneba, also in Ghana. They are also again our TeProD partners. Then in Europe, we are having the 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 University of Applied Sciences, that is in Finland. And we are also having the Technical University of 𝐒𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, that is in Slovakia. So we are cutting across. So it's a consortium of researchers who are really committed to the professional development of teachers, particularly in the sub-Saharan African region. So with this said, I'm very much grateful to all of us who are here in the physical venue and those of us who are in the visual venue for making time and come and spend these moments of enjoyment, intellectual simulations with us, as we seek to make sure that our lecturers and our students are digitally literated and that they are well convinced when it comes to green competencies in order to make sure that this world, as they have said, we haven't inherited it, but we have borrowed it for generations yet to come. With these few words, I am grateful for your presence here, and therefore would like to say you are officially welcome to this workshop on digital innovation and sustainability. Please enjoy the moments that we have in store for you. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shkalepo, for setting the tone for the day. Another round of applause for Dr. Shkalepo. Moving forward with the program, we are now going into our keynote address. Initially on the program, it indicates Mr. Bartholomeus Chileka, the CEO and founder of EduTech, but due to equal important responsibility, so he is not here with us, but he is represented by Mr. Gift Mupita, the Chief Operation Officer for EduTech Global. So EduTech, it's a company which is focused on advancing digital education and technical and vocational education and training. So Mr. Gift Mupita has a background in educational and software engineering. His work centers in now developing digital simulation that bridge the gap between theoretical learning and practical application. May I now welcome Mr. Mupita to the podium, please.
Thank you very much. As we are height challenged, like it was mentioned, I'm Gift Movita. I'm here to deliver a keynote speech for CEO and founder of Educational Technology Global, Mr. Bartholomeus Chileka. Program directors, distinguished lecturers, researchers, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today, delivering this keynote address on behalf of Educational Technology Global on the subject that is shaping the trajectory of higher education global, digital innovation for sustainable and academic future. On behalf of EduTech, I would like to extend sincere appreciation to the International University of Namibia and the TeProD project for conveying this important platform. The focus on strengthening digital and green competence among lecturers is not only relevant, it is a strategy. Institutions that invest in their competence today are building the academic resilience of tomorrow. We are living in a period of acceleration transformation. High education institutions are navigating rapid technology advancing, artificial intelligence and reshaping knowledge system, evolving our student expectation and increasing global competence for research and innovation. In this environment, digital innovation is not optional, it is international strategy. At EduTech, we view digital transformation not as a technology upgrade, but as a system redesign. It is about modernizing research ecosystem, digitizing administrative workflow, enabling data-driven governance, and building inclusive learning environments supported by technology. Importantly, technology must not replace educators, it must empower them. Sustainable innovation occurs when digital systems strengthen academic purpose rather than distract from it. Environmentally, digital platforms reduce dependency on paper-based systems, minimize travel through virtual engagement, and contribute to lowering institutional carbon footprint. Institutionally, they enhance operational efficiency, improve resource management, and enable scalable program delivery. Academically, they expand access to learning resources, support flexibility, and blend modern, facilitate collaborative research, and strengthen lifelong learning pathways. Digital transformation is therefore not separate from sustainable, it is drive for sustainability. For a sustainable academic future to be realized, the role of the lecture must evolve from content transmitter to learning architecture. Blended and hybrid learning models strengthen accessibility and resilience. Effective use of learning management systems, centralized course delivery, enhance assessment process, and provide learning analytics for continuous improvement. Artificial intelligence, when governed ethically and responsibly, can assist with automated feedback, personalized learning pathway, academic research, and institutional planning. However, sustainable digital innovation demands capacity building. Lecturers must strengthen competence in digital literacy, instructional design, educational analytics, cybersecurity awareness, and sustainable technology integration. Without structured support, digital transformation risk becomes fragmented rather than strategic. Digital systems also redefine research ecosystem, cloud-based collaboration, digital repository, open access dissemination, and data analytical increase research visibility. Strengthen interdisciplinary engagement and expand global competence. Institutions that digitize research, manage process, position themselves more effectively with international academic network. Within Namibia and the broad African context, we have a distinct opportunity. Our institutions are not constrained by deeply embedded legacy systems to the extent as older global institutions. We have the ability to design mobile-first learning ecosystem, integrate AI support academic systems, align digital infrastructure with renewable energy solutions, and develop regional relevance research platforms. With deliberate strategy, Namibia can position itself as a knowledge hub with a circuit region. To secure a sustainable academic future, higher education institutions must develop competence, digital transformation roadmap, invest in scalable cloud infrastructure, institutionalize learning management system usage across faculties, and establish innovation and incubation centers. Digital innovation must move from isolation project to institutional culture. The future of higher education will not be defined by those who resist change, but by those who shape it. We must ask ourselves, are we preparing students for yesterday's world or tomorrow's reality? Are we deploying technology reactively or strategically? Is sustainability embedded within our digital architecture? Digital innovation is not about device and platform alone. It's about modern transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Educational Technology, I reaffirm our commitment to support institutions in building digital empowerment, environmentally responsible and academically resilient systems. A sustainable academic future requires courage to rethink structure and invest strategically in transformation. Let us not merely adapt to the future, let us design it. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Mr. Mbita, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Mbita, for that insightful and thought-provoking keynote address for really clearly articulating the intersection between digital innovation as well as sustainability in higher education institutions. So it's very important to innovate and also to make sure that the innovation we are bringing forth are sustained and are also not aimed at harming the ecosystem. Thank you. All right, we are moving on with the program, and we are going to the next segment, which is the panel discussion, which is titled A Perspective on Integrating Sustainability in Digital Teaching and Research. So this panel discussion will explore or look at diverse academic perspectives on how sustainability principles can be meaningfully integrated into our digital pedagogies, research methodologies, as well as institutional practices. To guide this important conversation, we are privileged to have Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 in our midst, who is going to serve as the moderator of this panel discussion. So I would like then to formally welcome Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 to the podium to introduce his panel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cheko. Good morning, my honorable audience. You don't want to be called honorable. We are turning this into August House, where we are going to converse academically. Honorables is just not for those people on the other side of town. We are honorable on our own right. Thank you very much. I am pleased to stand here in welcoming experts, people that speak rather than instead of talking. I hope by now we know the difference between talking and speaking. So I am going to invite the colleagues that speak, that apply critical thinking, the thinking while you are thinking to make your thinking think better. So that is in the name of Prof. 𝐾𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥. So I invite you please to make yourself comfortable at the other corner, far left. Is my far left there? Okay. Then I invite Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, who also make herself comfortable. Then I invite Prof. Perry Bull. I want you to please sit here so that I will be sitting there, so that we implement women power proper. Zebra style. So I think before I sit, I want to just quickly give the brief profile of this distinguished people of Namibia, starting with Prof. 𝐾𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, who hold a PhD in environmental engineering, specializing in sustainability sciences. On top of that, he also holds a Doctor of Technology, focusing on technology and innovation management. His academic foundation is built on bridging the gap between technical engineering solutions and strategic institutional oversight. Currently, Prof. 𝐾𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 serves as an associate professor of education for sustainable development and the research chair for climate change, environment and resiliency at the University of Namibia. His professional trajectory includes extensive international experience across Asia and Europe, where he was leading transdisciplinary projects in diverse socio-economic contexts. His research focuses on the intersection of climate resilience, circular economy frameworks, and the advancement of green energy systems. Now I move to Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, who holds a PhD in informatics and a Master of Science in Information Technology. She is a senior lecturer in information technology with extensive experience in higher education teaching, supervision, research, and curriculum development. She currently serves as the head of the Department for Information Systems and Software Development at the International University of Management. Powerful person. Oh, now you are clapping because of women power. I did not hear you clapping for proclamation. Problem, power shift is a problem. Now you want to be good to women as. So, Dr. 𝐾𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥's research interests focus on securing digital information and exploring the application of digital technologies in education pedagogy. So now I know how to pronounce this. Thank you to Dr. Shivoro. Usually I used to say pedagogy. Now I move to, I don't know how, whether I pronounce your name correctly. And the surname? Buru. Okay. Okay, now I am moving to Prof. Permin Bor, who is an associate professor in the School of Education in the Applied Educational Sciences Department at the University of Namibia. She receives her doctorate in Instructional Technology and Media or Educational Technology from Teachers College, Columbia University in the city of New York, United States of America, where Trump lives. She teaches in the Masters of Learning, Science and Technology program at the University of Namibia and supervises masters and doctoral students in the field. She is active in Namibian society, and a community development project concerning various educational technology aspects. Research interest is on the nexus of community and technology. The interest in educational technology policy, primarily in learning design, instructional design, educational technology. I know by now Dr. Doniana should be doing like this. E-learnings, mobile education, social media, video games, game theory in education, computer science, programming, ICT assessment, computer study, AI, robotics leadership, and policy studies. Transformational leadership in ICT, change management and system thinking, and implementation of ICT policies. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your heads together for this work? So now, as we are going to start with our conversation, I am going to sit there so that I also take, what is that thing in Oswabo? Or Utapo in English? The English people. Contingency. Okay. I'm going to do contingency here. Thank you very much. Me and technology is like a dog next to the radio. Actually, my name is 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, the Dean for the Faculty of Environmental Management and Sustainability Sciences. And I am I am honored to actually lead this conversation when we are going to look at digital innovation and sustainability. And just to highlight that many of our national documents, actually noble documents, from Vision 2030, you go to the NDP 6, they are all highlighting innovation, ICT, and sustainability. Then you go to the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. I don't know whether we will want it by that time, because some of us are going to be sleeping in our graves. So it's also highlighting on the issue of digital innovation and sustainability. Then the key highlights here is the three sustainability pillars, that is environment, economics, and social, some now add political. So, and this also is highlighted in the agenda of sustainable development goals, the issue of smart cities and sustainable communities. Now, with, by starting off with our conversation, I will converse with the colleagues here are looking at the technology, the innovation, and sustainability. As we may all know, the world is at the technological crossroads due to the emerging technologies and threats. Subsequently, there is huge tension, especially on the use of artificial intelligence, AI, at a tertiary education level. Now we are going to start this and unpack it and deal with it so that either we agree or disagree if we really need the technology or we must go back to the 19 rules. Starting, I would like to converse with Prof. Amesho for him to please highlight on the extent at which higher education institutions are prepared to integrate AI into teaching, learning, and assessments. So, Prof, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, for the wonderful opportunities, and also thanks for and thanks a lot by the TeProD. You know, when I first came across this acronym, I was a bit wondering, like, what TeProD, what does TeProD means? You know, thanks a lot, Dr. Shikarepo, for such a very wonderful opening remarks. You have really, really made a very strong statement, something that truly used to worry me a lot, especially in the Namibian academic institutions, where you have highlighted the issue of digital natives versus digital immigrants. You know, one thing that I've observed here in Namibia, especially from the academic institution, nobody wants his or her students to use AI tools. But then at the same time, even those from the computer science or computer engineering background, we are claiming that we are trying to prepare students for a workforce that's hugely dominated by AI tools. Now, you want to produce graduates, digital immigrants for a digital native world. How is that going to work? You know, so that is one of the questions that we have to look at. Now, when we are talking about, when we are asking our question whether higher higher education institutions are ready for the AI integration? This is a very, very critical question that we really have to look answers for, because it's very important for us to look at the past, where we came from. We look at the past software that we've been using in our academic institution, and then we also have to look at our institutional culture and pedagogical readiness. Are we ready for the AI integration? So these are the questions that we have to answer. Now, in my response to this, I have prepared at least 3 items that I would be focusing on. The first item is the shift from detection to integration. Because nowadays, when you go to our universities, the academics, they are much more interested in detecting whether their students are using AI instead of integrating AI into their teaching. You know, and this one I have a problem with. Now, it's also very important for us to ensure that we are moving towards a stage where we realize that AI integration is not just about teaching tool, all right? So, but it's a cognitive co-pilot. Now, our readiness is now measured by how we move from banning these tools in our teaching approaches to AI literacy. So we need to educate, we need to teach our students, our graduates, on how they can apply these AI tools, all right? And it's also very important that we prepare these students for a workforce where they are not going to compete against AI, but to work with AI. So this is very important. Now, the second point that I wanted to highlight is the issue of infrastructure versus intellectual readiness. So now, in the context of Namibia, I must say that we are faced with what I call dual speed readiness. Firstly, from the technological perspective, we are catching up there in terms of high-speed connectivity and cloud access. While on the intellectual perspective, our academics are highly prepared to read ethical discourse. However, there is still a gap in operational preparedness. For example, are we having policy frameworks in place, okay, that protect data privacy? This is very important, especially if we truly want to integrate AI into teaching. So, but we have to continue encouraging innovation, all right? Now, the third aspect is the AI as a sustainability tool in teaching. Now, from my perspective as a researcher professor in climate change, environment, and resiliency, frankly speaking, I see AI integration as a sustainability win. Why? Simply because AI allows personalized learning at a very huge scale, right? Just imagine having an assessment tool that's adapting your students to a very specific learning pace, and this subsequently reduce resource waste, okay, of students falling behind or dropping out. Therefore, it's imperative to ensure that our students, or to allow lecturers to return to what they do best, mentorship and high-level critical thinking. Okay? Now, the last point is on the assessment revolution. Now, here it's very important for us also to see the importance of integrating AI tools. So we have to shift from what I called product-based assessment. For example, assessing a final essay student for our final year undergraduate students, to a process-based assessment. Okay? Now, here we are beginning to grade the evolution of students' thought, their critical prompt, all right? And their ability to verify the AI outputs. And this is where the true learning is happening. Because when you are teaching your students how to evaluate the output from the AI tools, they are actually learning a lot from this. Rather than students who are just asking AI tools to help answering their assignments without verifying everything that comes from AI tools. But if you are having students who are able to analyze the output from the AI tools, then there is high level of learning going on there. So thank you very much, Dr. Ike.
Thank you very much, Prof. Amesho. Prof. Amesho actually highlighted a number of issues, actually pertinent issues, that we must move. We are not, I hope we are not security officers. We are not investigating officers, because we just want to detect. But we must integrate, okay? And we must prepare and have policies. And then we must be able to teach our students on how to evaluate the outputs of AI, so that they don't become robots, okay? So now, thank you very much, Prof. Amesho, for that. Now I'm moving to Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, who I want her to converse with us on how can digital tools such as AI be used effectively in higher education teaching, learning and assessment without compromising academic integrity and quality of education of both students and lecturers.
Thank you, Dr. Ikema, for the question as to how we can use AI effectively in teaching, learning, and assessment at higher institutions. For AI to be useful and to be used well, it must be used strategically and it must also be used ethically. Building up on what Prof. Amesho was talking about, whether we are ready, firstly, before I answer that or not, we need to remember in 2022, am I saying it correctly? 2022? Yeah? 2022. So there was a task force that was sent out by our former late president to go and do the assessment on the readiness of AI in Namibia. And their findings actually recommended that we must have a national AI, what was it called? Framework, and we also needed to have a data center. The question is, how far are we in developing those two? Then we can tell whether we are ready as a nation to use AI or not. Now, in terms of how do we then, me as a lecturer, uses AI in my teaching? So AI is we cannot shy away from AI, unfortunately, because that is where the world is going. So we use AI in personalization, which was already explained by Prof. Amesho, to say that we personalize our teaching because when we integrate AI, for example, in our ITS, we have a system that is called ITS. Suppose we integrate AI into ITS, it will be able to do a predict analysis to say, how are my students performing, right? And that is how we can actually use it. Or we can use it to integrate it in our learning management systems. When you are giving assessment to your students, in terms of marking, AI can actually do that for you. And we don't need now to crack our heads to think of what kind of activity am I going to give my students. Because AI provides at least on the fingertips information on how am I going to structure my assessment. Let it be an essay, let it be a project, let it be whatever assessment that you want to give. Now when it comes to research, and that is where honestly, we are using AI in conducting our research faster. We have generative AI models that has been designed for that. Currently, for you to find an article, 10 articles, before, it will take you days to look for those 10 articles, specifically speaking to your topic of interest. Currently, you just need to use Elicity, one of the AI tools, and you have all the articles that you want within seconds. Now, when it comes to learning as a learning process as students, my brother was going to do a presentation for nursing yesterday, and he's telling me, thank God to AI, that at least I could learn fast and easy way to diagnose a lot of diseases. And really this helped me yesterday in presenting my own presentation diagnosis yesterday. And I was like, thank God for telling me that, because I'm going to talk about a topic like that. And that is how we use AI in learning. The notes that he got from his lecturers, he couldn't really understand them. So he has to go to AI to find a better explanation in the simplest form for him to learn and go and present that case. So also, in terms of learning and doing our assignments, yes, AI can give you better information than Google itself or any other platform. In terms of assessment, yes, grading systematically when it's implemented into our LMS management systems. If you include AI into grading your students, that will really help a lot. But we also need to consider best practices. Without digital literacy, we cannot talk of using AI. Without policies, we cannot talk of ethical using AI. And we also, what was already alluded by Prof. Amesho is that we are now in the world of cybersecurity, and AI increases the use of cybersecurity. And that cannot be shied away or be left out, because then AI, as much as we are using it to advance our teaching, there are those ones who are using AI also to destroy our privacy, to destroy our data, to destroy our economy. So even cybersecurity need to be considered in using AI in education. I might keep on going on and on and on and on. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥. Actually, what I am deducing from the discussion so far is that those that are anti-AI are actually telling us to go back to those old Ford, not those bigger ones, old Ford toner. So they want us to go back there instead of buying these new Rangers and other things, because time is moving. Thank you very much for writings on the importance of employing strategies on how to use AI and the issue of ethics. And also, very important, that Namibian government has tried during the time of late President 𝐒𝐿𝐭𝐚𝐥 to form an AI task force that actually came up with AI framework. I think it's a move in the right direction. If there is somebody to fail it, they must know 𝐒𝐿𝐭𝐚𝐥. Somebody please translate. Now we are moving to Prof. Bol, who I want to request her to digest this topic as it comes to the issue of technology. So, Prof. Bro, what are the sum of the technological, ethical, and institutional challenges facing lecturers and students to effectively use AI and other digital tools in their teaching and learning.
That is a tough one. All right, I'm just going to share some of my thoughts, and I think I want to open with the idea that for academics and for students, any kind of innovation or digital innovation cannot happen within the confines or without any kind of policy or framework, kind of policy framework for the institution. I'll give some examples. Last year, our institution only has a draft because things change, and I think it has to do with the issue of perspective. And what most of the academics currently are engaged in, especially at top management, is the whole policing situation. They're looking at technology from a perspective of, we need to check people, and they don't look at it from a perspective of a learning opportunity. So we are learning institutions, so everything should be from the perspective of a learning opportunity. So if you look at something from a learning opportunity, that means that you will look at all the digital tools from that perspective and put your guiding principles and your framework and your policies from that perspective. So it's not something to avoid, but something to embrace. So speaking about that, many of the academics are experimenting with AI tools. So in the absence of formal policy guidance, right? But I have noticed that the major challenge is that people are very negative. When we are in meetings with other academics, they're always like, oh, these students, they just copy-paste. They're going to ChatGPT and they're just putting things down there. But they themselves are not engaged in the experimentation of ChatGPT, which they should be. They should be the ones trying to figure out, what's happening, how should I do this, how can I curtail? And so it always reminds me of Everett Rogers's innovation diffusion theory, where you always have the people who are early adopters, and they tend to be the ones who are setting the path going forward. And so I want to encourage everybody to at least be, on the early adoption phase and move towards early majority. Don't be your laggards that's never going to adopt any of this in terms of risk. So we, as institutions, we don't have to start afresh. UNESCO is there. There's been many documents internationally and globally that guides us in trying to move towards setting the pace. Last year, okay, I have to share this. I know it's a bit tough. Last year, I was involved in a doctoral viva voce, and it was a doctoral student whose a dissertation was reviewed. I sent it back. I had to resubmit, and I gave a lot of guidance. It came back very quickly though, and it looked pretty good. And but in my back of my head, I'm like, this is deep seek. but then of course with the viva, you get an opportunity to talk to the student, right? So the student gets to share, so you can pick up if it is, and even if it's not their work, they need to be able to defend and think through the situation. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, what if this was a situation where this was entirely AI generated, and we had to pass the student because there was no legal framework from the institution side, right? So even if I could prove that this was AI generated, we had to still give that student their degree because there was just no framework to protect or guide us. And so it was just something that I was thinking about. But what I want to close with is the idea that, number one, everything that we do needs to be from a perspective of learning. Once you have the perspective of learning, it imprinted in your head as a student, as an academic, then whatever follows is relatively easy. Your adoption of any kind of digital tool will come from that, because it means that now I'm looking at, even from a digital point of view, I'm using the tool to learn. It's a process, like the prof was saying. It's something where I'm moving away from memorization to going and explaining my thinking process. Second point, just as a point of warning for the students, remember that even AI is fallible. There's a lot of errors in ChatGPT, Gemini. I always show that to my students. There was one time last year, I was sharing with them, how to go through a proposal, how to write your statement. Now I'm showing them, and look at references, ask AI to generate for you. And all of a sudden there is a paper that has my name on it. And I'm like, I almost didn't write, I didn't publish anything last year. Why is it even 2025 with a very nice title? I was like,
Thank you very much, Prof. Bull. Indeed, we must shift. See, people are talking about paradigm shift. Let's move away from policing perspective to learning opportunity. I was studying somewhere, I don't know whether it was last year or the other year. Then one of my lecturers was giving us 10 warning. If you use AI and I catch you, I will deal with you. I will not even take you to disciplinary hearing. I will deal with you. Then he gave us an assignment. Then I put it through these tools. 100% from AI. So now a lecturer is having a problem with us using AI, but he is using AI. So let's all embrace AI. If it is good for the lecturer, it should be good for the student. But then we must not forget, we must use it ethically. Okay. And then universities must come up with a policy to guide the use of AI, but not to police this. Now, I want us to put in a fourth gear so that we begin to look at twin transitioning and other sustainability issues. Now, there's a saying that driving a twin transition for a resilient, low carbon economy is everyone's responsibility. With that said, I would like to engage Prof. Amesho into explaining why it is important to ensure that digitalization and sustainability are no longer separate goals, but two sides of the same coin in creating what is called digitainability.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ikela. Just like, again, Dr. Shikarebo from the beginning, he mentioned something, because when he was giving his welcoming remark, I was also just taking notes, and he mentioned something that truly captured my attention when he spoke about digital competency and the green competency. And this is, again, what is your question is all about. Why is it so important to ensure that digitalization and sustainability are seen as two sides of the same coin? Well, when we are talking about digitalizability, is the idea that we cannot achieve a green future or a green tomorrow, without the application of digital tools on our daily basis. And we shouldn't build a digital future that harms our planet. We have to take note of this. The digital future that we should be building must take care of our natural environment, not to destroy it. Now, traditionally, we view technology as a consumer of energy. But then, today, we must view it as an accelerator for the environment. This is very important. So now, there is also a very good symbiotic relationship between digitalization and sustainability in the context that technology provides the plain data and analysis capacity, all right, or analytical capacity that allows green transition to function. For example, we cannot manage renewable energy without smart grid, all right? So this is where the issue of digitalizability comes in. So the other issue is, if we treat them separately, then we are taking the risk of creating what we call digital waste, all right? Because we need to integrate them so as to ensure that every new app or digital system that we are designing must have what we call low carbon footprint, all right, from the start. So this is very important, that whatever digital tools that we are creating or that we are designing, it's very important for it to have a very low carbon footprint. All right, so I think I should end it for now.
Thank you very much, Prof. Dr. 𝐒𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥. You see, there's a saying that we must level data with sustainability. What can you say in that context?
Okay.
That one of the admiration of Vision 2030 is research-based economy and society at the end of this vision. Can you please tell us why it's important to integrate data in the decision-making process?
Thank you, Dr. for that question. Namibian Vision 2030 is leaning towards industrialization as well as knowledge-based. So now, for the country to have an industry and for it to have a research-based context, then there must be a need of data. So in data, when we have accurate data, we are able, not only accurate, it needs to be accurate and it needs to be in time. When you have accurate data and when you have it in time, it will be easier for you to make better decisions. Now, better decision for the future. Now, when you have data that is coming from the past and you have data that is of current, then it will be able to make you a vision of the future. So that's why then data, it is really needed. Data, it is needed into the, what we call, sorry, the word, it's going out of my head, of what we call, how do you call it? Digital, digital green. Is that the term that is used? Digital green. Now, for us to have the digital green, that means that we need a place that is secure, that is safe, that is sustainable, the environment that is safe. Now, how do we make the environment safe? Is when we have automations. There is an app that was actually designed, developed by one of our master students, that is there to detect pests from the Mahangu field. That is also same as you having data to make decisions. Now it incorporates AI, where the cameras will be looking at the crops and will determine, this is a pet and not a pet, a pest, and this is not a pest, this is a weed, this is not a weed. Now with that data then, it will be collected from this AI machine and it will be given by the farmers using a chatbot. Can you see now the data is being collected and it will be given to the farmers through a chatbot, which is also a tool of AI. And like that, we are keeping the environment very, very secure using data. And we also look into prediction. We need to predict. Namibia is known as a dry country. And because it's a dry country, we need to know then how do we predict our climate. And doctor, you are a climate change researcher. So when we have AI that is being used with data that we can take from around the forecast stations, then we'll be able to predict, to say, okay, come 2027, what kind of weather are we going to have? And that prediction is very, very important in driving the industry and also making sure that we have a knowledge base. And we also need to look into how do we then close the data gap, because the farmers who are in these regions and the farmers who are in the north, do they have the same data? Do they have the same systems that they can give them the same information and they can work at the environment equally? So with AI then, it will be able to help us to get that data and distribute across the nation. But that can only be used when we have these AI tools integrated into the environment for sustainability. And then also we are looking into green hydrogen energy now. That is what we are having. How do we detect that kind of energy? Is through using AI, and AI provide the data that can be used for decision making in driving our industry and also driving our sustainability. So thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oiganjo. Indeed, very soon, those of us who are lazy to wake up in the morning and go either in the maize field or Mahangu field, we are looking forward to have an AI tool that will be able to, weed by itself. Then you see, our heads will not have those cracking things. Thank you very much for that intervention. Prof. Bull, digitalization should not be a goal in itself, but a tool for sustainable future. With that in mind, do you think it is important to ensure responsible and sustainable technology in our socio-economic advancement?
Yes, of course. I think that with all academic practice, we need to have a lot of consideration, and as long as it is contextual and looking at the Namibian context, it is very important. For example, when we are engaging with putting together things like our learning management systems within an academic context, the consideration is always bandwidth, access, and how all of those fall into use, right? So we need to make sure that we don't, that the sustainable aspect is not looking at high-end, tools that doesn't fit within our social structure, right? There's one thing I wanted to say earlier in terms of, I don't know if this is part of that question. I wanted to address something in terms of research, and that there is a lot of literature at the moment that is out there that is very negatively inclined when it talks about generative AI and its use. So what I would like to encourage is that we need to do research that is contextual for us in the Namibian context. A lot of this is international, and there's a lot of talk about how it's changing our brain, how it's numbing and dulling our intellectual ability, and we don't know whether that is entirely true, because a lot of the use current, and this is part of the sustainable aspect also, is that I find that the students are using the generative AI to work on this self-regulated learning. It fills in the gaps from what they don't and didn't get within the K-12 system, right? And I also do that as a lecturer. We don't know everything. And sometimes we go through a schooling system where not everything is taught. And so you get to university level, you yourself recognize, I have a gap. I don't really understand certain things. I also don't understand my lecturer very well. And so I'm using this as a tool to empower myself, right? And if you're using it in that way, that is ethical. That is in a way in which you are strengthening your shortcomings and your gaps within your knowledge realm. And that affords you then to come to the table and participate then in class, because you're using this on a private. So nobody really, and this is what I enjoy about generative AI, is that nobody can, in the past, you used to feel so inferior. So now you can use ChatGPT in private, right? You use your Gemini and I don't know. And you tell people, okay, wait, I'm going to check this out, and you're learning on your own. And so this allows you to strengthen the gaps and the shortcomings for yourself. All right, I'm going to stop here because I'm off on another tangent.
Thank you very much, Prof. Bull. Very interesting. We are learning. Actually, they say every opportunity is a learning curve. I'm only used to generative agriculture, so now I learned generative AI. Thank you very much for that. It was a good discourse. And now, Prof. Amesho, back to you. You have spoken about decarbonization in area intervention. I want you to put your mind a bit on this saying. In the context of digitalization should not be a goal in itself, but a tool for sustainable future. How do you think twin transition can contribute to accelerating net zero?
When you were talking about how transition can accelerate net zero, we have to look at the various AI tools that we are using, especially in the context of decarbonization. Now, we have things like AI, things like Internet of Things, IoT, and then the blockchain. Now, we have to look at the applications of these AI tools, in the context of energy conservation, for instance. Now, for example, we can use AI, the artificial intelligence, where we can use it to predict, for example, where on a campus like this, we have to use it to predict whether this specific buildings needs a cooling or heating system, all right? So we can use the AI to predict this, and this will help us to prevent energy wastage, okay? While on the issue of IoT, the Internet of Things, we can use, for example, sensors, all right, in the agricultural context, where we can use it to detect leaking of waters, or perhaps to detect the soil moisture, so as to ensure that these sensors then help us to conserve water, and of course helps us to prevent water leakage. While on the blockchain, we can use this as an AI tool to ensure that the companies that are producing various products, these products are below carbon footprints, from the company to the consumers. We have to make sure that these products are as green as these companies are claiming, because in modern days, or nowadays, every company is claiming to go green. But the products that they are producing, are they really having low carbon footprint? This is the question that we should be asking ourselves. Thank you.
Okay, I have to stand in for the moderator just for a few minutes. Is the case elsewhere. So now, thank you so much, Prof. Amisho, for the response. So the next question, I would like to pose it to Dr. Wengado. So the preamble is that we must ensure our digital footprint does not exceed our environmental handprint. How do you see twin transition in the context of a sustainable economy?
Okay, so thank you. A sustainable economy, I'm looking at it's not harmonizing, but equality. I'm looking at where everybody in the country have access to technology, right? And that means that the infrastructure must be set up. And I need to applaud the government, because currently Namibia is at 87% coverage of the network. The towers has been put up in farms and all over Namibia. I think it's only about 2 regions that do not have really a 90% coverage of the network. Now, when we have infrastructure in place and the broadband, including the rural areas, that means that we are supporting the sustainable within the economy, within the communities. But I also do not want us to leave out digital literacy, because we cannot talk of digital green when our people in rural areas are not educated on using digitalization. And also, we also need to look at that digitalization within the economy inform the consumers. Like what Prof was saying, that imagine there is a leakage of water somewhere. When you have technology that inform the consumers that there is a leakage somewhere, then that is really digitalization and sustainability. When there is, let's say there's probably some environmental diseases that is going on, or any disease that is going on, and it's being captured, and that is being informed, or the consumers are being informed by such, to say that we do have a concern going on, then that is inclusivity, and that the community will actually be engaged. And then also I have spoken of accessibility, that every person in the country must have an access to the digitalization, and that will actually include everyone. We are not talking, we cannot forget about affordability. We can have technologies there, but if they are not affordable to the community members, then it's definitely in vain. It must be affordable, it must be accessible, and it must be a knowledge known, meaning that they must be trained on how to use these technologies in securing and as well as sustainability. So let me end there for now. Thank you.
Sorry, my respected audience and panelists. You see, we have a student defending a PhD next week, and is supervised by the Prime Minister. Now he wants to attend the preparation. Sorry for that. Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Bo. I am coming back to you. And this time I want you to take a thought on how do you think stakeholders, you see, they are very important. How do you think they can be involved in doing transitioning? Then after she shared her thought, I would like to invite the audience to engage, not me, but the experts.
All right, yeah, I think that's a very, very important question. And this is what I was trying to allude to earlier. So I'm sort of building my argument in terms of where we are at. As institutions, what you're currently doing is actually the right way in partnering and building capacity within our Namibian context. What's more, and what I would like to see more in terms of stakeholder engagement, is that we cannot build capacity in isolation. We need partners. We need to specifically build our literacy and sustainable literacy components. So my suggestion is communities of practice. I think people really need to start getting across this whole notion, and especially here, we have this notion where our institutions isolate. UNAM is in one corner, IUM is in another corner, NUST is over there. We put our pinkies out, not the full hand. And this is not nation building. So if we really want to, we need to fully engage in terms of building those communities of practice. So what I would like to see that within institutional components is digital innovation communities. We should have our faculties have like a mentoring kind of network. We should really work with interdisciplinary collaboration and really work in terms of research grants, get involved with not only if we start grants at our institution within my field, I should be open to invite and engage people from other institutions. So it shouldn't be just one institutional kind of focus. A lot of teaching innovation hubs would be nice, involving the industry, because there's people out there doing really wonderful work, and we need to look at what is currently there and trying to pull them in. The professional development pathways, also developing those. I don't know if it's like here with IUM also, you know, is forever cash strapped, and so we're doing a lot of short courses and they're demanding us to do things that is outside, but we need to figure out a way in which we work together. How that would materialize, I'm not sure, but that's the only way we can focus on a faster movement forward, maybe even leapfrogging for that matter. And so my final thought in terms of this is that don't isolate our efforts, join international research teams on these efforts and develop our communities of practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Bull, for actually calling out UNAM, IUM, NAST, and Verovicia, and all other universities. Synergy and cohesion is very, very important. These things of us operating as bulls that are fighting over, as elders we understand, is not building us. You know, it was an embarrassing thing when, for how many years I don't know, until 2024, when these three big institutions were to be brought together by Roof Forum. You see, it's not a good thing. We must work together so that we mold our people, we build our people. Research cannot be done in isolation. Okay, with that, I am not here to participate in sharing opinions. I would like to invite my Honorable House to comment, to ask questions, but we must be abstract and concise on what we want to ask. You see, while somebody is putting up his or her heads, Dr. Shikarepo was a good teacher here in the morning. Just imagine an expert keep referring to him. You have made an impact. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful opening remark. Anyone who wants to engage these wonderful people I have in front here? You see, it's just now or never. You never meet them. If you meet them in the street, they will pretend they don't know anything.
Good morning, the panelists, and good morning, audience. My name is Maud Nyambe. I'm a lecturer at IUM, and I'm in the faculty of SMDA. My question is, we were talking, one of the panelists was talking about policy framework. Now my question is, the policy framework, must it be introduced by the government, or must each institution introduce their own policy regarding the use of AI? Thank you.
Ms. Nyambe, do you have somebody specific you are directing the question, or anyone can respond?
Anyone can respond.
Okay.
So
colleagues, we have the question. Who want to shoot? I mean to respond, not shoot.
Thank you very much for the question, Ms. Nyambe. You know, when we are talking about policy framework, and we are talking about the application of AI especially in the academic context. Frankly speaking, it's very important for us, especially for those of us into academia, to ensure that we don't leave these things to the politicians. Frankly speaking, if we are talking about scientific publication, what does the Honorable Parliament know about scientific publication? All right? So it should be us in academia and the academic institution to develop policy frameworks on how this AI application can be used in the academic context. So the policy framework should first be implemented in the academic institution. But of course, government can also come up with the policy framework, especially on the AI integration, because even in government as well, governments, they are also using AI, you know, but there should be a policy that is guiding us all. But academic institutions should be at the front line for this. I hope that I've answered your question.
Pretty one goes first. I just wanted to add that research informs practice. And so it's important for you as students to focus on doing research that is contextual, that is something to do with your life and solving the problem within our daily lives. If you do that, that informs the framework then in terms of government to adopt, because then it's something that becomes ours, and that's what we really need to focus on. I have a student who's doing a really nice, she's sitting over there, a very nice PhD, and I'm hoping it's on AI and prediction. And so I'm hoping that that study is going to inform the way we do things going forward, and that it becomes a framework, a policy guide. So this is how we actually need to work in synergy. There's going to be you having that important part to inform policy and framework making.
Thank you, Prof. Bo. What is the student?
She's sitting right here.
Please stand. No, we must empower students. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Doc, you wanted to say something to add that?
In answering Mrs. Nyambe's question, and I think it has already been answered by the two professors, to say that it's a responsibility of every nation, it's a responsibility of every institution. On the national level, we need to be guided by the government, of course, the strategy that governs, which is a national strategy, but at the institution level, we need a policy that governs how do we use AI ethically. So on the national level, a strategy is needed. On the institutional level, a policy is needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a colleague there. We have the floor.
Well, good morning. My name is Simon Sikolo. I'm from UNAM. I just wanted to share some bit of experience. There was a question regarding how the universities work together, rather in a collaborative type of complementary role rather than competing sort of negatively. Last year, I was invited to attend an event or a conference actually in Germany, and I was actually exposed to a template which I think we can also copy and adapt here. They call it Alliance University, where a number of universities basically have come together and they came into an understanding where they are actually doing things together and they are sharing resources. And in fact, it's also supported by the European Union. They are actually encouraging that, for example, if they are giving out a grant, they make it a condition for these institutions to work together. You know, so it's like people are not necessarily forced to work together, but it's like they are incentivized to work together. So there is already a template. We just need to study it, do some bit of benchmarking, and they actually develop a lot of things together. For example, even their research excellence framework, they do it together because it concerns all of them. So there's a lot of areas of collaboration in terms of teaching, research, and sharing resources. Because sometimes you find that maybe there is something that UNAM has, and then IUM does not have that. But now obviously they have their autonomy retained, but there's a lot of collaboration, and it's obviously structured, and it's incentivized also from the government side. It's not something that the institutions are doing by themselves in a vacuum, but it's something facilitated. As I said, in Europe, obviously they are doing it through the European Union is involved, and I find it quite good, and I think it's timely that we also have this kind of conversations, because even in terms of lobbying, it also gives you some kind of power, because if there's something that involves or affects higher education, then you also use that platform to collectively lobby government on something, and it gives more power, I think, in terms of fighting for your interests, so to say. That's a little bit that I wanted to share with you.
Thank you very much for that. And I wish... Yes, no, just to add a bit to what the colleague have said in terms of the cooperation between universities. Even for this project, TeProD, if you can see beneath there is Ulysseus. That is the body that is championing the collaboration between universities in Europe. And then if any of the universities happen to get a grant, now that grant, that collaboration will still be underwritten by that Ulysseus. So perhaps maybe as African countries, Namibian universities, we can also try to look at modalities, how best we can come up with a body that can fast track and promote collaborations between our institutions exactly the same way the European universities are doing. Thank you. Just in addition.
On that basis, based on this good discussion, therefore I propose a task force including the comrade who spoke, Dr. Shikarepo, Professor Amesho, Dr. Wengajo, Prof. Bull. I am not going to be there, so that they are the founding member of that body. That will be like that one. I mean, this is how things start. Otherwise, we are hearing good practices elsewhere, and we are not taking them up. We are also part of the failure. So therefore, I'm serious about that. Okay, thank you very much for really bringing up that. It's a good thing. And I'm not making a joke about it. I want us to be serious about that. Because, you see, it's not good. In South Africa, when people are doing research, when you supervise, you don't worry about what a university will give you, because you already have money from that body that will fund the students and research. I don't know whether we are good with time.
Yeah, I just okay. One question, just a quick one. Given the fact that the majority of our audience are students, so I just have one question to the expertise, perhaps to share ideas. What could be the best way, or what can you advise our students on the responsible use of AI? And what do you think AI plays a role in their learning journeys? So rather than just as a tool to generate content for them, what advice can you give them that what is the best way to really use AI in their studies?
Thank you very much for that good question. I will start with Prof. Bull, because I read something like education technology, the student is doing something on AI. Please, Prof. Bull.
Knew you were going to throw me under the bus. This is for the students. Don't be afraid to use any of the AI tools. I do have to warn you, number one, the free tools generally don't have all the functionalities. So the output that you will get from the free tools is sometimes questionable. But that is also part of the learning, because that's what UNNEG is going to do. So first things, when you have assignments, engage with, whether it's Gemini or ChatGPT. The first thing is download the prompts, right? Remember, generative AI works on language, and if you ask the wrong questions, you're not going to get good answers. So try to figure out, there's always lists of things of what to ask and how you should frame your question. So the first thing is figure out, how do I engage? It's just like any good conversation you're going to have with your partner, your friends, is you're going to get the right answer if you ask the right question. And you're going to have the right engagement if you give a lot more details. So don't just ask one thing. When you work with ChatGPT, generally you have to ask things like, suggest an outline on my thinking of something. I want you to include X, Y, Z. This is my perspective that I want to come from. Look at a Namibian examples, or, so you give a long list of things. And then when the output comes, don't just copy and paste it. Go through it. It's a learning opportunity. Check things out, figure things out. Do segments. Don't do big questions where you get a big output. Go little by little, because little by little will help you process. It'll help you learn a little bit better. And it also keeps you engaged. Because what I've noticed is some people want to go the lazy route, and then they just ask one big question, and they get this big output, and then you struggle. So if you break down, even in your mind, little pieces at a time, and then combine it together, that's the best way for you to learn, and also where it'll be a lot more reliable in terms of its output. One thing, identify your gaps. I know we've all been to schools. I also come from gutter education during apartheid. And so there are things I don't know that I'm feeling very insecure about. So in your private time, build up your general knowledge on the shortcomings that you have. Keep notes, keep your files, your folders, whatever, and build your strength of your knowledge gaps there. Then the other thing I want to do is experiment. Oh, there's one thing. You know how your lecturers catch you out very quickly if you've used AI? It's because you're using language that is like American. Huh? Don't do that. Ask ChatGPT to even simplify things for you. You can ask ChatGPT to say, okay, I've written a problem statement. Can you write it in simpler terms? Maybe at grade 12 level, right? Or grade 7 level. You read through it. Keep things simple. Don't give those big words. The lecturer will catch you out immediately, right? So, and also it's more understandable for us. I mean, for most of us, even for me, English is the second and third language. So we work with that context. So don't try to be so like you want to impress people. So use it to your advantage, and that's ethical, right? So don't copy paste, use your plagiarism, follow the plagiarism guidelines from the institution, but make sure that you yourself have experienced a learning process. So that when the lecturer calls you in and asks you about it, at least you know you can answer very confidently about the topic, the assignment, because you've really had a learning experience.
I think time is against us. Oh, okay, some students right there. So please, students, a warning is that don't use AI to rah too much. There was a hit from a student. I think the student has left. I think, okay. Do we have anyone from the online? Okay, Dr. Hosiana, all the way from 𝐶𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥. The floor is virtually yours. We cannot hear you, Prof. Dr. Hosiana. MC, I am tempted to give 1 second to every panelist so that we conclude this session. You know, too much of everything is also not good. We cannot overstay here. Oh, there is a head there. Yes, please. The last one. No, women are gone. We have no case.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Matanasia Yambo, a master graduate in youth community development, but currently a school counselor at School for the Visually Impaired. So I would just like to ask, now that we are talking about digitalizing, right? So how can then the digital innovation strategies in higher education and community development be designed to ensure that inclusion, accessibility for people or persons with visual impairment while we are still remaining sustainable?
Thank you very much, Prof. Bull. You are the problem. You are on my right hand side. So please, can you respond to that?
Oh my goodness, they say that's a very biblical thing. Somebody on your right hand side is a very important person. Oh, that is an excellent question. And a question that you need to answer. I think our whole focus, of course, is inclusivity, and the digital tools that are currently out there really affords for inclusion if used correctly. Within our cultural norms, we still have a long way to go in terms of inclusion, mental health. You're talking about visual and physical impairment. We still have within our culture a lot of background, so we don't really engage so much within our classroom practice, within our learning practice. I want to challenge you as a PhD candidate that this is a wonderful topic to look at, and look at how not just digital tools, particularly I think AI can help in a learning environment, right? So trying to see how can we use this as being a learning opportunity, allowing for, we looked at yesterday, I was in a postgrad, we were assigning students, and there was one student who wanted to investigate the use of bringing your own devices in a special needs school, you know, for inclusive, it was an inclusive education master's. But they didn't specify what specific within the apps they wanted to use. So what I'm going to answer is that we need to figure this out. And so I'm challenging all of us, these students even out there, this is something that's important. Inclusivity is a key area, and so let's find out ways in which we can do this in a sustainable, ethical way that really allows for the nation building and for our own learning.
One second.
I I really don't know what to say. All right, what I want to say is that we need to support each other. We need to really build a community of practice. Working in isolation is not working. Our main focus, and I think our president is also very strongly focused on youth empowerment and employment. And they will always ask, I think the big thing tomorrow also, our management indicated that the president wants to know, what are the institutions doing to help our students in terms of work and work engagement and employment? So my answer is, let's come together, figure out a way in which institutions can support the growth of our nation and building our nation. And AI is a wonderful tool to allow us to move forward.
Once again, the final word.
Thank you, Doc. Maybe also just to add on what she was asking, how do we then do that? How do we close the gap? I have here, we need to start with research, and that research, we put it into innovation. Innovation means that we need to design, we need to develop our own AI, our own technology, and then we give it to the consumers, and then that now will give us production. My last point is that AI is developed to help us, not to work for us. So your work is your work, you just use AI to polish it. And that concludes my remark.
Thank you very much. My last point is basically on the responsible use of AI tools, especially in the academic context. The challenge that I'm seeing with our students and even our academicians nowadays, in the academic context, referencing is very important. Do you know why? It's always very important. If you are using my idea that I've already put up there in terms of publication, so you have to acknowledge me that according to Amesho, or I've used Amesho's model for this purpose. Now, even when it comes to the AI tools, when they're using the AI tools, acknowledge that. And you must also tell us for what purpose, to what extent you have used AI tools in your academic work. That's what I can tell you, for example, in the scientific publication context. We have Elsevier. I know we all know Elsevier, right? It's the largest publication company in the world. They don't prevent any researcher to use AI, but they want you to acknowledge whatever type of AI tool that you have used and for what purposes. And they're also encouraging you that once you use that AI tools, it's also your responsibility to verify the output that you get from the AI tools. Don't just copy something from the AI tools and put up there. I remember about 2 weeks back, I received a PhD proposal, and I even showed Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 here. Somebody just went an AI tool and tried to get a PhD topic, and then he just copied and pasted it, and the thing was in inverted commas. Now I was wondering why the PhD topic is in inverted commas. You see how irresponsible we can be. So when you are using AI tools, you have to take responsibility. I think, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my colleagues, for sharing those wonderful thoughts. It was a very nice conversation, very informative. You have spoken. You did not do what? They did not talk. See, they shared some wisdom with us. So thank you very much, audience, for being such wonderful people. Please, let's go out there and spread the gospel of AI that must be done responsibly, ethically, and no one should stop it, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our panelists. Before they leave the floor, can I ask Dr. Ndonyema please just to give them a token of appreciation, small token of appreciation. Let's give them another round of applause, please. Including our keynote speaker, please, Mr. Mumbiba. You can also join the colleagues. So as we conclude the panel discussion, we are going for a 15-minute coffee break. And after the break, I expect everyone to please return to the hall. If there is going to be a practical workshop, hands-on workshop that we are going to conduct to see how now digital tools are implemented in teaching, learning, and assessment. For the online community, there is a link which was put on the chat, or a Padlet link. So let's please follow the link and do not do anything until further instructions are given to you, please. So follow the link and just be on the platform and wait for further instruction. So for the colleagues in the room, there are QR codes here that you would have and scan and be on the platform, and please do not do anything until further instructions are given to us. So I will put the QR codes here as we go out for coffee. We just grab and scan, please, as we return. We may proceed to coffee. Right, we are starting with our practical session. I hope we have all scanned the QR code provided in the physical venue, as well as the link provided on the chat for our online audience. So this hands-on training session, it's really just going to incorporate the discussion which was done earlier to see how digital technologies can now then be integrated into our teaching, learning, and assessment. So it's going to be facilitated by Dr. Ndonyema and Dr. Mfenu. So without further delay, I will then give over the floor to our two colleagues to facilitate the workshop.
Is it good afternoon or good morning still? Good afternoon. Okay, so my name is Dr. Alpha Ndonyema. I'm the Director of the Center of Distance and E-Learning here at IUM. Okay, so my research focus is more on educational technology, and my PhD was also in educational technology, and my research interest is mostly on mobile learning, AI is actually my interest. Integrated technology in education and digital learning. So we are just going to take you through a session, a practical and hands-on session, because whenever you are talking of digital learning or digital teaching, so it's just not in theory. It requires hands-on and it requires practicals. So I believe that we all scan the QR code so that we can have access to the platform or to the Padlet that we are going to access all the activities that we are going to do today. So please make sure that you have access to it on your mobile phone, because I will require you to use your mobile phones to complete those activities. The online communities, please, I drop the link in the chat box. Kindly please click the link on the chat box, then you have access to the Padlet and you will see all the activities. All right. So we are going to we will have 4 activities as seen on the Padlet, and the first one is quite interesting because the thing is, as teachers as well as student teachers, so we must also find ways or different platforms that we can use to make our class live and fun. Okay, so we explore few platforms that we are going to look at today, and we see how effective it can be when it comes to digital learning and digital teaching, as well as assessment. That's what we are going to focus on. All right, so please kindly do not click anything on that app until I give you directive on what to do. All right, so we have the welcoming remarks, so that one you just read, just to welcome you on that platform. And the platform that we are displaying is an app called Padlet. Padlet is a platform which allows an immediate collaboration and engagement between the facilitator or between the lecturer and the students. All right, so you can use it for many things. You can use it to upload the content, you can use it to discuss, you can use it. So it's really, really one of the good platforms that we can, as teachers or as lecturers, can use in our teaching. Okay, so I would like us to go through without wasting more time to activity 1. Okay, activity 1, it requires you to click that link. When you click that link, it will take you to a Mentimeter application. There is a question there. For what I would like you to do is just go to it, click on that link, the link to participate in the activity 1. We start with activity 1. Just click on that link. It will direct you to a different platform. Then there is a question there. What I want you to do is just to answer. Just give one word answer to that question. So the question comes like that. Put your answer and click submit. The question is, how confident are you in using digital tools in your teaching? If you are a student teacher, you are also teachers in the making, so you must also give an answer. How confident are you? That is our first question. Okay, I can see we have the first response, very confident. Please come through, answer. Not so confident. Very much confidence. I want to see more and more and more because it allows up to 50 participants to respond. I want to see more. You can even put other words, like I can't wait to use it, I can't, anything. I would like to see more answers. Online community, are you there? Please click here on this link to access that. Go to the Padlet. The Padlet is a platform that you use when you scan the QR code. Then it will take you to the Padlet. Then you will see that page. Once you see that page, and then you click on this link, this one, activity 1, icebreaker. Who is struggling? How many of you managed to submit your response? Very good. Perfect. Super confident. Internet issues. I'm very shy. Highly confident. So that application allows us to have live conversation, and you can use it in your teaching, okay? As part of the game, as part of the icebreaker, as part of any, you can put a question, because remember that we are dealing with different students. Some of them, they are shy. They prefer to write their answer rather than saying it loud. So if you come up with this platform, even the shy one will do what? Will give you the answer. So you can post your answer there, and at the same time, you are getting answers and you are displaying to the whole class. Okay, there is a second question. There is another question. Can you move on to the next question, please? And I would like you can create a poll whereby you can also ask your students to choose whatever. So the question is, how confident are you in using digital tool in teaching? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. So that is another way of asking the same question. If you don't want, you can actually ask them to rate themselves, or you can actually ask them to give you your the one-word answer. Okay. Are you getting access to it? Is asking for? To sign up. Oh yeah, that's the problem with these applications. I use the free version. Perhaps it wants us you to sign in and. No, let's not go there. But you have an idea, right? Yes, I wanted you to do you select, you rate yourself, and then you will see. We wanted also to know how many of you are more confident. But again, our first question really gave us an idea that some are saying, I can't wait to use this. Less confident, very confident, high, not confident. So we actually have a mixture. Some are confident enough, some are not confident enough. Why? Because probably we are scared, okay, of the unknown. We don't want, whenever it comes to digital learning or digital technology, it's all about playing with your computer. It's all about experimenting. It will not come for you. To you, you have to go for it, okay? So you need to practice over and over until you create that passion, and trust me, your teaching is going to be so fun, and your class will be so effective as well. Okay, that is our first activity. That was meant mostly for the icebreaker. All right? Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Doctor. I just wanted to emphasize, because I'm seeing that some colleagues are confused. They are trying to figure it out and how do they use it. Okay? We are saying that a Padlet is like a platform. It's more like, thank you, I left my phone. It's more like a platform that you can use in your classes. So when you come to your class, it's more of a display for teachers. It's more like a lesson preparation. Okay, so when you come to class, you have a platform like this, and you have already grouped your different activities that you are going to do in class. You can see on the right-hand side, it's welcoming, teaching and learning. That is the name of the subject, and then you are welcoming your student. If you are planning to have an activity, then you enter activity 1, that's what you are going to be doing in your class. Maybe for the second time, there won't be any activity, but maybe it's your notes or your slides that you are going to prepare for your class. Then you put your slides under maybe activity 2 there. Maybe for the next activity that you have, then you place, so you can place activities, anything that you are going to do in your class. So as students enter in your class, you have something like this. So they are able to follow already. And for the Padlet, it's not just, it will not expire. Even after class, even at the end of the semester, they can still access it. So it helps you to arrange your activities, it helps you to arrange your lessons, so that when you go to class, then you are well prepared. The activity that Dr. Onyema gave us, it helps in you assessing what level are your students at. For example, when you are introducing a lesson, okay, a topic in your class, students may not feel comfortable. Okay? We are talking about 200 students in a class, and then you are asking, for example, just the question that he asked, how comfortable are you? Let me say you are teaching, what? Give me a topic. Give me any topic. Maybe is the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay? And then you want to ask them, okay, are you familiar with Sustainable Development Goals? Okay? Only few of them, they will say they are comfortable. Others, they will sit in that corner, not saying anything, but they do not know what are Sustainable Development Goals. So now, everyone has access to internet. We are saying that scan and send your response. So individually, you remember this is anonymous. They will not be able to see which students say that they don't know what are the Sustainable Development Goals at any point, and then they are being truthful to say, I don't understand that topic. So you can even ask to say, do you understand maybe corporal punishment? Okay? And then from there, as they give their responses, then you get that, can I have the other image of the expense? Yeah, no, the info, yeah. So then you are able to see that from your class, those that are very confident, there are many, okay? And then you will start building on that. Sometimes you also see that most of them, maybe they don't understand. And then you start building on that. But most of the time we come to class, we start teaching. Maybe you ask one question, do you understand this? Only one or two will say yes. And you are building on that, not knowing that the rest of the class, maybe they don't have that confidence to say, no, I don't understand that topic. So you can put all the online interactive platform in your classes so that you can be able now to build on that. Okay? Now it's from that you start teaching. Okay? Because maybe you are teaching something that people are already familiar with. I think the first question would have even asked is, are you familiar with the Padlet? Then you will see how their responses are. Okay? But it's an opportunity that you can use. You can plan everything. If you have games, you arrange your activity in that Padlet. If you have questions, then you put them there. Then students become interactive with their devices that they have at their disposal. Thank you, Doctor. You may continue.
Thank you, Doc, for clarifying that. So let's move on now to the next activity. To minimize this. Yeah, it's moving now. All right, let's go back to our Padlet. So, activity 2. So, activity 2 focuses more on creating your course content. Okay? What digital tools are there that can assist you to create your course content? To be creative. We have a lot of applications, trust me. A lot of them, thousands, but at least you must choose one. I know some of them, they would like you to subscribe, pay, version, and so on, but we do have quite a lot of free applications also that you can use in your class. All right, so now we move on to the next one, activity 2, teaching and learning content creation using Canva. How many of you are familiar with Canva? Put your hands up. Online community, please just drop in the chat box that yes, I am. Or you can even put it on, no, actually, write it here on the Padlet comment. Okay, let me put that. You can just write add comment there. Click add comment on the Padlet under that activity 2. Here, just click here, add comment, then you tell us, are you familiar with Canva? Just say yes or no. Are you familiar with Canva? We would like to see your responses there as well. It's something that you can do in your class. So Padlet, you can use it live, you know, with anything. You can even put audios, you can put videos, you can put anything that you want. Okay? So, add there, and I would like to see your comment. Are you familiar with Canva or not? Yes or no? Alright? So if you know Canva, then it's very easy that yes, you are able to create a very good infographic. It can be a video, it can be slides, it does everything literally. Okay? So after that, I would like you now to click on the link. It will take you to Canva. I hope it will not ask you to sign in this time. It will take you to the template. I shared a template.
Can we get the responses? What can that?
Okay, not familiar. Okay. I see the responses. You can see that one. Okay. Or say not familiar.
Give the responses, please. Yes.
Online community, please drop. Go to Padlet and enter a comment. Are you familiar with Canva or not? Once you click this link, it will take you to a graphic design like that.
Sorry, doctor, is the link for that on the chat?
Excuse me?
Is the link for that activity you are referring to on the chat?
Yes, I dropped the Padlet, the link to the Padlet to take you to this platform on the chat. Once you click, let me just, no, I can't stop sharing now. But if you check in the chat, you will see a Padlet designed by Dr. Ndonyema. You will see it. Just click on that link, then it will take you to that page. Yeah, that is the link. Yeah, Mr. Glodon also shared it again. That is the link that I expect you to click, and then it will take you to the page. It will take you to the Padlet page, the one that is on the screen, and then you click now add comment under activity 2. Then you tell us whether you are quite familiar with Canva or not. Okay, anyone on the chat, please, can you share the link again? You did? Thank you so much. Our online community, please get access to that link. That's the only way you'll be able to send or to share your comment on the Padlet. Okay, so far we have 2 responses you can see. Not familiar, very familiar, yes. At least we have Tilapia who's saying, no, I know Canva. Okay? While we are waiting for more feedback, I'm familiar with the Canva. Very good. So, can we click then on that link where you can see that infographic? It will take you now to that template. Once it takes you to that template, I would like you to now customize it. Okay, you customize it. You customize it for your subject or for your course. So it can be anything that you want to share or to design for your student. Let me say, for instance, you want to teach what? Factors of production. Okay. Then when it's written visual graphic, then you say, okay, factors of production. Then on the side, you put now the list of the factors of production. Then you customize it up for your content. So you've been creative. You want that infographic, you cannot find it on internet the way you want it. You can create it yourself using Canva. So once you click on it, so you can customize it. Do you have access to it? Can you customize it?
I think there's a challenge there.
Online community, can you access the graphic design?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. So kindly please customize it. Once you're done, screenshot it and post it back to Padlet. You post it under activity 2. Once you're done with customizing it for your liking or for your subject, you can take a screenshot and you add comment. Once you add comment there, are you struggling to customize?
It doesn't seem editable. Where are we supposed to go?
Did you click on it? All right, let me try to click on it and see what is happening.
When I click, it's going to slide.
Okay. So it's not, doesn't want to. Okay. We're supposed to give you option. I think I shared, I think the link that I shared is not editable. I was supposed to set it on the Canva itself. Yeah, because it's just taking us to the next one.
Nevertheless, I think the importance of what we are learning from here is just to inform colleagues to see that there is Canva, that you can, at your spare time, you can explore more. It's a platform that you can use. For example, students learn, remember we say student learns differently. There are those that learn through hearing. As long as they can hear, then they are sorted. Okay? However, we are saying that there are those that learn through visual. They need to see something. Okay? And I think I've seen when I was passing through students that learn through visual, because I see that you have even pictures in your books. You are visual students. So we are saying that even when you are now teaching, consider students that learn through visual, that learn through seeing. So what does it mean? It means that you can use, for example, a platform called Canva that you can use to provide infographics. In other words, for example, if you are demonstrating on factors of production, then you have different charts that will be able to demonstrate that. If it's about steps, then it's a picture that's showing different steps, and then you just enter your content. If it's about a relationship of different factors, then you can also use Canva to be able to demonstrate that. So it's an opportunity for us to go and maybe explore more, Dr. Alpha, on Canva, for us to be able to use it in our classes, to design our posters to help students to be able to learn better. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doc. Yes, on Canva, I was trying to, yes, can you see it's editable? Canva has lot of template. So your job is just to go there and customize it to your liking. So let me say, for instance, you wanted something like that. So you just go to Canva, and once you get to Canva, then of course it will allow you to edit. See? Like, if I don't want that, so I want to, let me say, for instance, digital learning, because I want to customize it for my course, whatever. Perhaps I want to show visual to my student. You can also use it if you want to design PowerPoint presentations, even videos, there's a lot of things that you can do. But the good thing about it is that you don't need to call someone to do the design for you. You can just literally go there, choose the design that you want, and you can actually customize it. Okay, so then if you also want to change the picture, you can change the picture. If you want to change the content, you can change the content, and it goes on like that. So that is something that you can also use, especially when we are developing content for our students, as well as for our courses, or even online courses. Okay, so I think we can just go.
Yes, I also wanted to come in. I'm sure students are here and they're wondering, but I'm not a teacher yet, or I'm not even a trained teacher in progress. You can still use Canva to do your presentation, to come up with your nice presentation. Okay, when they ask you, for example, to come up with a poster in your whatever lessons that you have, you come up with nice infographic poster that will be able to, you become unique, you distinguish yourself from others that are writing with their hands. If you are presenting in a group, you can still bring out these different ideas in groups, and then you can still present your best presentation instead of just doing the normal way of standing there presenting. Have your nice poster that you have designed with Canva. Even when you are going to class, you are telling the lecturer to say, for my presentation, please, I'll need a projector for my group, because our presentation will be we need to assist us with the projector, because our presentation is well prepared. Then you can get also extra marks from doing that, from using Canva to do your presentations? Yes.
Also, for those who are looking for jobs, is where you can do your nice CV. Remember, sometimes you have to pay someone to design a CV for you. So Canva, you can just go there, you can find lot of CV template that you can just customize, put your picture there, follow whatever, and then you can use it when you're even applying for a job. So there's a lot that is happening there, and you can use it either for your personal use as well as for your teaching and also learning.
We have a question here.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone, professors and the doctors in the house. My name is Serafina Sheapo. I work for the Office of the Prime Minister. I'm one of the invited IT experts. I serve at the directorate or the department that is responsible for the implementation of the government systems and for the infrastructure within the public sector. And my role is to develop the program courses for the ICT personnel across within the government, and also to do the cybersecurity across the public sector as well. And let me just say that I'm very, very much impressed with the platform. I'm just having some few questions to ask about the platform. Is the platform is for the university or is an individual platform? And if it's an individual platform, I think my question will be
it's very clear.
It's free open source software, because it's very, 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 very interesting, especially with your need of education. Thank you.
Okay, now will you answer that?
Yes, I can answer that.
Is it a university property? Is it, how do you get access to it?
How do you get access to that? So all the platforms that you are using today, they are available online. None of it is owned by IUM, and most of them, they are free version to a certain extent, but if you want it more bigger and better, it requires you to subscribe and pay. However, especially for the startup, a free version is always good. It's always available. Even for Mentimeter that you used earlier, it's free version, but if you want to have more hosts, for example, it has a limitation. For Mentimeter, it only limits up to 50 participants to post on it. If you want more participants, then it requires you to pay. So they have to, most of them, they are free to a certain extent, but if you want more advanced features, then you are required to pay for it. Yes. Yeah, they are there for everyone. Even Canva is there for everyone. Just, I'm going to drop later, I think I did. If you check on the Padlet, I put the icon for each of the applications that you are using. Okay, but yes, all the. Let me just quickly go to the Padlet. Like the first one, this is the first app that you use, the Mentimeter for our icebreaker, and this one is the Canva, the one for creation. So I put icon for each one of it. And the good thing is, once you have access to this Padlet, you have access to it forever. Unless later on I said I have to kick you out, but you can even have access to it. Even after this session, you can still visit it and you find all this content there. All right. Thank you. Let's move on to the the third last activity. Let's collaborate using Padlet. That is our activity 3. I don't know whether our online community is there. Can you shout back, please? Are you still there? Any question from the online community?
We are here.
All right. Are we following?
Yes, we are actually. Yes.
Please proceed.
Yeah, so those who are leaving, please, we also, the last section on the Padlet there at the end here, is where our workshop evaluation is. Please access it and make sure that you click it and then you give us feedback to this workshop. Please, before you leave, try to click on it and it will take you to our feedback survey form. Our feedback survey form, so that you can give us feedback on this workshop. Excuse me? Yes, both online and physical. The online can have it, get access to the form on the Padlet. So please give us feedback. We really need this feedback. All right. So the activity 3, this one we can do it even later. So that is where you can add any content. So let me say, for example, you are a teacher or students. You want students to collaborate. So what they do is you just add and you decide what is that you want to upload for your students. So I was thinking if we can also upload something that you want. It can be an image, it can be an audio recording, it can be a link, it can be anything from OneDrive. Then you just post it there, all right? So if you click on that, just add and you put anything that you think of with regard to your subject. Sorry, I'm under activity 4. It was supposed to be activity 3. So you edit here, please. Activity 3. Collaboration. So it has to do with collaboration. If you want your student to collaborate and work together on a certain assignment, or as a teacher you want to upload something, so you can literally just use Padlet for that collaborative activities or engagement. Okay, while I'm still waiting for your feedback, let us do our assessment for the workshop. The last activity 4. The last activity 4 is going to be a quiz, and we have a giveaway to the person who is going to score more marks. I hope that we are all ready, because you cannot teach without assessing, and this is one of the tools that you can use to assess your student as well. Activity 4. Please click on activity 4 and see whether you'll get access to the quiz. Go to activity 4 and see whether we have access to the quiz. If you get access to the quiz, it will require you to enter the PIN, and you enter that PIN on the screen. Please join the quiz. We have a giveaway here, very beautiful gift. Online community, please join the quiz. We can courier the gift to you. I'm waiting for participants because it shows that no participants. Yeah, Haiti joined, Lucia joined. So this application is more for gamification. When you hear of gamification in your teaching and learning, so these are some of the platforms that you can use to bring games in your lesson and fun as well. Where are you? Only Lucia and Heidi. Online community, please join activity 4 on the Padlet. Dave joined. Given joined. I'm just going to give you extra 2 minutes, then I'll open the quiz and each of you are going to answer the quiz and you will see the winner. Dadaleka joined. Okay, are we ready for the quiz? We only have 5 competitors now that joined the quiz. So once I click start, it will give you questions, but unfortunately the question will just be on the screen. Let me give you instructions. The questions will be on the screen. On your app, on your phone, you are going to see only the colors and the shapes. So once you read the answer on the screen and you think that is blue, then on your phone you have to click that blue color if you think that is the correct answer. Each question is timed, only 15 seconds. Once you take long, then it will go to the next question. Okay, so I'm going now to click start. Oh, I must wait, all right. What happened to Lucia? It seems like... Please join. This platform, we call it Kahoot, is usually used in school for game in class.
Why is my name in this?
For live interactions as well. For quizzes, for presentations, you can actually do a lot. So when we talk of digital teaching and learning, is to integrate this type of platforms in our teaching and in our learning, and also in our daily lives. So if you want to host a certain event, you can always bring this, use some of these applications. So can we start now? Are we ready? Okay, I'm going to click start. The questions will come, and it goes on like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, start. What happened to the screen? No, but the question has to display on the screen, because the question is there, but there you cannot see the answer. The answer is supposed to read it on the screen, and then you click the correct shape and color of that. Now you just have to guess. Guess whether the answer is red. Just guess, because online community, I know they can see the questions. Only the physical attendees. Question 1. Okay, yes, that is the question. Can you just move that icon down, please? Which of the following best describe effective digital teaching? So the answers are written there. I don't know, they look a little bit not clear. You can read, and then on your phone, you just have to click whether if you think the answer is red, then you click the red icon or the red shape. If it's blue, then you do that. If it's yellow and green and so on. Excuse me? Time is up, yes, it must be up. Okay, the next question is Heidi. Heidi is leading. Okay, we are going to the next question. Why is student interaction important in digital learning environment? So I'm not even going to read it for you. Read it yourself, and those are the answers. Then you click the color. Only 15 seconds. Time is up.
Yes.
so we have Haiti with 1,200 points and Dave with 574 points. The next question. Okay, no, okay, we have 4 answers. Let's see who's leading. We have Haiti. Ah, Haiti, looks like you're an expertise here. Who's Haiti? Where's Haiti? Online. Ah, I see. Okay, the next question. We are almost done. We have 3 more questions, then we are done. Then we'll know who's the winner. So these are the type of games that you can bring in your lesson, asking questions that are related to the question, to the subject. I think 15 seconds was too little. Good. Time is up. Who's leading? Ah, Heidi, are you using ChatGPT? Okay.
Actually, you can't use ChatGPT because the time is so short.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. The second last question. All right, so sometimes it's just better for you just to click and go on without reading. Okay, then we have the last question coming. No, I think there's 2 more. The second last question. All right. Let's see the correct answer. Oh, okay. The competition is getting serious. Are you ready for the last one?
Yes.
Okay. That's the last one for us today. Then that was the end. I think this was the last one. So let's see the results.
I will only answer one question.
Okay, so your names with your marks, the runner-ups. Position 1, you can see. Can you see that celebration? Yeah. Position 1 is Heidi celebrating. Position 2 is Dave celebrating. And April, position 3. Okay, so that was our last activity. It was mostly on assessment, and you can use this type of platform. There are a lot of them out there. So when we preach about digital learning, digital integration in teaching and learning, this is the type of platform we are looking at. So we just don't talk about Google, we just don't talk about ChatGPT, we just don't talk about Microsoft Words or presentation. There is a lot out there that we can actually, especially to bring fun in our classes. Yes, the internet and gadgets can be a challenge, but I believe that the government is moving towards making sure that everyone have access to digital learning and as well as technology tools. Thank you so much. I can end here. So we have our winner, Heidi. So please send us on the chat where you are so that we can send your gift to you. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to our facilitator for being interactive and engaging. I think we have learned a lot from this workshop. Both lecturers and students. Going forward, I think we can try to integrate some of these great tools into our teaching and learning, just to make the learning fun. So we are getting close to the end of the program. And before I call on the next speaker, who is going to give our closing remark and vote of thanks, can we please access the evaluation form so that we can evaluate our overall workshop? We need the feedback for future improvement. So can we kindly please, before we leave Padlet, go to the last activity. There's a Google form there for the survey evaluation. With that said, may I now please call on Dr. Shivolo to give the closing remark and vote of thanks. Yeah, Dr. Alpha, can you please just also put the evaluation on the chat, the link?
Okay.
Just on the chat, out of Padlet.
I will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. It's very difficult to make a closing remark when everybody else physically is gone. Yeah, but I want to appreciate my audience online. I think we still have quite a number. First of all, I just want to thank each and every one of you for making time really to come and join us in one of our workshops. Actually, we have got a series of workshops regarding digital innovation, sustainability, green transition, and twin transition in education. I just want to thank the invited guests and of course not forgetting Mr. 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥, who actually set a tone on the discourse on digital innovation for sustainable academic future. His reflection challenged us to reimagine digital transformation, not just as a technological tool, but as a strategy, or rather strategic commitment to long-term academic resilience and sustainability. Also, I would like to thank and acknowledge our, panels who formed part of the discussion here. On their contribution, and their contribution actually reminded us that sustainability must be embedded in our pedagogical approaches, research agendas, and institutional strategy. And also to Dr. Neonyama and Dr. Mthenu, who actually led a hands-on discussion on how to make use of digital tools in teaching and education, teaching and learning. I also just want to thank you. While I was seated there, I was like, I'm a useless doctor, because I don't use some of these things, and it's really a wake-up call for me to start integrating some of these tools in education. And I like the sentiments that she echoed to say, when we talk of integration of technology, it doesn't only mean the use of slides, the use of what we know. Like the activity that you just did, it was one of the kind. I just want also to appreciate you for that and for your insightfulness into that. And also, I just want to thank our audience. I know it was fully packed in the morning, but after break, of course, the rest is history, but we still have a number on online. And to the student audience, I just have a good news for you. We have been announcing this over and over and over. We will have a cohort of 7 students who will be going to Finland and Slovakia on a fully paid up trip, which will not cost you even a cent. Should you be following our engagement, be it physically or be it on our social media platform? just continue following TeProD and specifically for IUM. In fact, I just want to make it clear, we will have 7 students going to Finland and another 7 that will be going to Slovakia. And they will be going there free of charge. And how do you get selected? You get selected through this type of engagement. So please, I'm urging you, those that are here physically and those that are perhaps joining us online, just to encourage other people or other students to be following us, because it will be beneficial for you. Imagine going to Finland just free of charge. Something that you have never dreamed about. Really, I want to thank once again each and every one of you. Of course, I will not fulfill my duty if I will not thank the team, the IUM TeProD team, who are behind the organization of this type of workshops. And I'm telling you, we are going to continue with a variety of such kind of engagement, and I'm challenging you and encouraging you to continue joining us. Thank you very much, Chair. Oh, my goodness, I almost forgot the IUM radio. You know, when you are part of the media, you are hardly recognized because we know you are here, but let me also use this platform to really thank you. I know it was a last-minute thing, but really your commitment towards TeProD and towards being with us here, honestly, it's highly, highly recognized. It cannot go unnoticed. Thank you very much, and my apologies for having left you out. It was not intentional. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shigolo. We have come to the end of our workshop, and we invite you to be with us again on our future events following. So let's not forget to please evaluate the workshop. We need those feedbacks from you guys. From me and the team, it's goodbye for now. Bye, community. Thank you for being with us here.